What's up, guys? Nick Major here, APTV correspondent out here on the Vans Warped Tour all summer long. I had a great in-depth chat with Derek from Mayday Parade, starting from when the band first began touring with Warped Tour, but not actually playing it and just selling CDs, to becoming one of the headlining bands, and plenty more. So stay tuned to see what he had to say. We're on a Warped Tour, and what I love is that you were one of the first people that I met before going on to my first ever Warped Tour.
That's right. That was the it was the photo 2014
AP cover shoot.
AP cover shoot. Yeah, in California.
That's right. Who else was on that? So it was you. Sydney from Echo Smith was on that.
That's right. There was Ben from Neck Deep, Michael from Issues.
Was Caleb from Beartooth was on it? I think.
Caleb from Beartooth. Tay from
yes.
We Are the In Crowd.
From We Are the In Crowd.
John,
and he was the only one that wasn't at the photo shoot.
That's right. He did his separately, which I was a little jealous of. But I had a great time there. It's just the trip of
it was a whole trip just to do it.
Florida to California, just to, yeah.
Hey man, it was worth it because we got to hang out
it.
for the first time.
That's right.
And look at us 2 years later on Warped Tour again.
That's right. That's right.
What was the first year you played Warped Tour?
We played in 2006. We played one show of it. The year that we followed it, we played one show of it. The St. Pete. Yeah.
Florida.
Yes.
Oh, and you're from Tallahassee.
Yes.
How far away is that from St. Pete?
It's about 4.5 hours ish. Somewhere.
So was that like an Ernie of the Ball type thing? An Ernie Battle of the Bands thing that you won?
We played the Ernie Ball stage. Yeah, it was one of those deals. But of course, we were out the whole summer following it. But mostly just selling CD. We didn't even have our equipment.
What year did you guys form Mayday Parade?
2005, the fall of 2005.
Wow, incredible. Yeah. Okay, so how in like less than a year did you guys get to the point to where you were like, let's go travel Warped Tour?
Well, it's kind of a long story and it goes back pretty far. It's really a lot of we were all in bands before this, and when we came together to start this band, we kind of like took everything that we had learned from we had toured in previous bands as well, and we had in fact followed the Warped Tour in 2005. Myself and Brooks and Cabbage
with another band.
What
was that band called?
It was called Defining Moment. And we had been in that band since like 10th grade in high school, and we started touring right out of as soon as we graduated high school, we started touring, and then we got the idea. It's kind of a long story, but we figured out that we could do this like really small time touring where Brooks would book us on kind of like just get added to local shows and stuff, and we'd play for 5 or 10 kids, do these like tours and stay with people's houses, and we'd sell like a CD or two every night or something, right? And then there was actually a Taste of Chaos show.
Do you remember what year? Was it Taste of Chaos 06?
It must have been 2005, I believe. It was,
because this was before Mayday. Yes.
Yeah. This was the first year they ever had Taste of Chaos. It was with My Chemical Romance and The Used.
What a lineup.
I think Kill Switch Engage and Census Fail, I believe. But so we used to, when we did these like small tours on like a day off or whatever, we'd go to malls and we would walk around with our CD player and just try and get people to come to the show and also try and sell CDs, right? And so we'd do that, and then we wound up going to that Taste of Chaos show, and we were like, why don't we try walking around here and selling CDs? Because we had done it in malls and like hanging around Hot Topic and stuff, right? And we walked around, I think we had 2 CD players and headphones, and we sold like 100 CDs that one day.
Were you impressed? Was that like ridiculous? 100 CDs?
Exactly, and that's when something clicked, and we were like, whoa, like we could tour for a month at the rate we're doing and sell like 20 or 30 CDs, or we could do one day of something like this and sell 100 CDs. Like, that's crazy, and it's just great exposure as well, because hopefully at least some of those people actually listen to the CD, and so we got the idea to like, what if we just followed a big tour and sold CDs just like this? And then so the next big tour that we knew of was Warped Tour. And so in 2005, we followed it with that band, and we sold 10,000 CDs that summer.
Damn, you followed Warped Tour. The first year was 2005 with Defining Moment.
Defining Moment.
Defining Moment.
Yeah.
That was the first year I ever went to Warped Tour.
Wow.
Was 2005.
Yeah, it was a great year.
My Chemical Romance, The Transplants, Avenged Sevenfold.
Yes, and then shortly after that summer, was when it'd been kind of a long time coming, but we decided to split, and there was another local band that Jake and Alex and Jason, who originally was in the band, they were in that band. So we were like, let's take these guys from this band and these guys from this band and start this band. And then when we did that, we knew okay, well, first order of business is
what tour are we gonna go follow?
Well, we knew it would be Warped Tour. We were just like, we have until the summer
to put out a CD,
to write, record, and release an EP that we go. And that was like the plan from the start, because we had just done it with the previous band, and it was very successful.
And this was fall 2005 that this was forming.
Yes. This would have been either I think October of 2005. So we started the band. We wrote 6 songs, and we went and recorded them with the same guy we had recorded our stuff with, Defining Moment, and the other guys in their previous band. We recorded the 6 songs, and we got it released ourselves. We did the we basically were in debt about $20,000 starting Warped Tour because the CD company fronted us 10,000 CDs that we had to pay back by going on a Warped Tour and selling them.
This was as Mayday Parade?
As Mayday Parade now, yeah.
Wow. So in 2006, when you went to go on the Warped Tour, you were $20,000 in debt.
Yeah, and my dad had bought us a van. We didn't have a van. My dad bought us a van, and we were like, we'll pay you back after we go out and sell these CDs. So we were, in debt. And then 3 days into the tour, we got in a pretty bad wreck on Brooks's
the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, it was horrible. On Brooks's 21st birthday, and that was scary because it was even after our trailer was totaled and the van was really messed up, but we went and bought a new trailer that day, loaded all the CDs into the new trailer, and kept going and sold CDs even that day because we were we're screwed if we don't we can't leave now, you know what I mean? So
in Defining Moment, you sold 10,000 CDs over the summer.
Yes.
As Mayday Parade, how many CDs did you sell over the 2006 Warped Tour?
We sold 11,000, and
very ambitious. You guys knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, that was kind of the goal. That was we were look, and nothing against anybody in the old bands we were in, but it was just we wanted to take the most dedicated and hardest working and best most whatever dudes from each of the bands, and we were let's
come
really,
together and make something.
I mean, some of the other guys in the bands had jobs and wives and kids and stuff, and couldn't just I'll go follow the Warped Tour. It was they had serious commitments at home, but we wanted to do this, and so it was finding kind of the right group to do it with, and that was this. Yeah.
And what was the first year that you guys? Okay, actually, you know what? So you play Warped Tour, 2006. You sell 11,000 CDs as Mayday Parade.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of buzz does that generate for you guys?
It was. I mean, that summer is when we started talking to labels, and MySpace was the big, way people got the way this scene's music, was consumed or whatever back then. So it got to a point where the MySpace page was getting I remember the first day that we got 1,000 plays in one day, and then it was we get a couple thousand plays a day, and there was a buzz or whatever, and we had some labels that started approaching us, and then we met with Fearless actually for the first time on that summer. There was one day that we didn't in California that we didn't sell CDs so that we could go do a showcase where we played. We had to use a different, I forget what band it was now. It was another Fearless band that let us use all their equipment at a little practice space for us to play a set for Fearless as a little showcase.
When was that? Was that 06?
That was 2006, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we signed with them shortly after, and then they kind of re-released the EP. We had put it out ourselves, but they did an official.
Did it give that a huge boost when they released it?
Yeah, for sure. But it sucks that we didn't do sound scans back then, so that first 11,000 of the EP, we had to kind of start over when Fearless put it out.
Damn.
But it doesn't really matter in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So when was the first time that you guys toured on Warped Tour as a band?
So 2007, we put out A Lesson in Romantics. Actually, July 10th, and then the next day, July 11th, we jumped on. We did about 3.5 weeks of Warped Tour in 2007. In fact, at first it was just a week of Warped Tour that we were going to do, and we were all right, cool, that's awesome. And then we ended up getting 2 more weeks added on a different. We did a week of it on the Ernie Ball stage, and then 2 weeks on the Smart Punk stage, which is now what the Poseidon and Cyclops stages are now. That was back then it was the
So
one of them was
how
a
was
smartphone
that
stage.
2.5 weeks for you guys on Warped Tour? Was it big for you guys? Did kids love you guys?
It was good. I mean, that was literally the day after Less Than Romantics came out, and so it was good, but it wasn't anything crazy. We were probably playing for, 200 or 300 kids, or maybe it's a couple hundred kids. Like it wasn't anything crazy.
That's
for
good
sure.
though.
But it was cool. Last year we were following. Now we're playing, and we have some kids that are singing along, and we did like the acoustic thing every day, where I'd play like an acoustic set, which they don't do this year.
Do you like doing acoustic stuff?
Well, I do. I used to, like that year I did it every day, and a lot of summers I've done it like here and there, but I don't like doing it every day, I guess. But I like I was asking at the beginning of his tour if there was a place like that, because I would, it'd be cool to
do a few acoustic sets.
Yeah, they had the acoustic basement and the Full Sail and all that stuff throughout the years, but this year there's none of that. But anyway, so yeah, and then we did those, and then and that was the start of a 7-month stretch of when we put out A Lesson in Romantics, and we started at Warped Tour. We did 7 months of touring straight without any break or any time off. That's the longest stretch of touring we've ever done.
And was that huge for the band? That 7 months?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it saw a lot of growth, and did some a lot of international stuff. We went to Japan and Australia for the first time. We went to the UK for the first time, and some of mainland Europe, and then a couple of US tours, and it was just straight one thing from the next for 7 months, which was pretty wild.
And during this whole time, were you single? You didn't have any kids or anything?
I had a girlfriend during that time, yes, but that was a past relationship.
And now, as the years have gone by, you've had kids now.
That's right, yeah.
How old is your... wait, do you have one kid right now and a new one's on the way?
That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
boy or girl on the way?
I have a boy on the way,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
So I have a daughter who's almost 5. She turns 5 this month in August.
Insane.
And then a son who will be born this month in August as well, yeah.
Has the time flown by with the 5-year-old?
Oh, gosh, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Are you excited that you're going to have a boy and a girl?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's
yeah.
perfect.
That's kind of, best of both worlds, man.
Did you ever see yourself as being in a band, as being a way to support a family?
Whenever we started, we didn't I wasn't thinking about 10 years from now, where do we want, I mean, literally since I met Brooks when I was 12, and we were in 7th grade, and the day that I met him, because I was always looking for people to play in bands with. I have an older brother who played in a band, and I always thought that was so cool, and that's what I wanted to do. And so when I was in 7th grade, had a couple of friends. I had a friend who played drums, and he was and we would jam together sometimes. He's like, I know this guy named Brooks. He plays guitar. He should come, chill with us sometime. And so we planned a band practice where I met Brooks, and he came to my house, and we, started playing in a band. And then from that moment, on, it's always been about, and even though we did in hindsight now it's very clear, but at the time we just we loved working on our whatever band stuff more than anything else, and way more than we would spend most of our time at school doing working on, and even in high school Brooks had I don't even know, a tech class or something, and they had a screen press, a t-shirt, a printing press, so we would make our own.
Make some merch.
We'd make our own shirt designs.
That's
and print them out at school, and play our friends' birthday parties, and save up money to buy recording equipment. And then we started recording our own little rough demos, and putting trying to sell CDs, and then just do we took a guitar class in high school, and we were allowed to go out onto the bus ramp of the school, and kind of just do whatever we wanted, and we would just write songs and work on.
Perfect. That's exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just always kind of been, and but yeah, I don't know if we ever really saw it as a full-time career as much as it's become. But I guess that's
always. Do you
always
embrace it becoming that though?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more, especially people like us who, just always love to do it regardless, to be able to, that's what everyone says, if you get paid to do what you love, then
you're not working a day in your life or
exactly,
something like that.
yeah and that's kind of what it is, man. Yeah.
How is it touring all the time when you've got little babies at home?
Well, it's tough now. It's harder now, but we don't like we have that 7 month stretch, for example. We wouldn't do anything like that these days. It's usually 2 or 3 months gone, and then a month back or so, and then so it's just a balance. But everybody's kind of at the point, even though I'm the only one with kids, everyone's kind of at a point where like we have some other stuff, like other priorities, and although this is still kind of like the main thing for all of us for sure, but we're not like going quite as hard as we used to, but we still haven't really slowed down we stay really busy. It's just
always touring around and
it's
stuff.
just a balance, but yeah, I mean it's how we make a living and support our families and pay our mortgage and all that and
live life. It's your job.
Yeah,
it's your job. If you weren't in a band, what do you think you'd be doing?
I have no idea. I have
Is
no
that just
idea.
so because it's always just something that you like the most?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only other big interest that I have, or I have a lot of other, interest, but the only thing that I like would maybe can see myself doing, I love music and playing music, and I love video games. I'm very into video games.
Nice.
And so if, and I'm completely happy and content playing music, but if I had to do something else, if it was somehow anything involved with creating video games or just something in that world, although I don't think there's much I really could do because I haven't spent my life learning how to program
video games
and but that's the other thing that I'm
you ever
really
Twitch?
into.
You ever stream any of your
No,
game streams or
I
anything like
thought
that?
about it, but I'm not interesting enough, because I feel like you'd want to have like when I'm like playing games, I'm just like sitting there.
You're into the game.
I'm just like quietly playing
These
a
people
game.
have like big personalities. And they're just like,
so I feel like if people were watching, they'd be like, okay, I'm just watching this dude play this game, like just quietly, and but I thought about, especially because a lot of times I'll play with like Dan Lampton,
Oh, nice, real friends,
or
yeah.
like dudes from other bands or whatever, or like Cabbage from our band. We'll like all get like a big group of like 5 or 6 of us and play like Overwatch or Rocket League or something online. And I thought that like that, when we all have like our headsets on and we're just like talking and whatever, I thought like stuff like that would be cool maybe to
that could be
stream.
fun. Yeah.
And so, and we always say like we should do it, and then we just never do it.
Oh, you guys need to do it.
but-
Warped Tour's a great time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, except for internet's kind of crappy out on Warped Tour.
Yeah. There used to be a like little setup, like a bus that it was like I forget what it was called, but it was like a Wi-Fi lounge where
On Warped Tour?
On Warped Tour. And it's been a while. This is back. I'm thinking like 2008 when I remember this being. But but it was like a bus that was pretty like open, and it had it was almost like an Apple store or something. It had a bunch of little stations. Some of them had computers there, and some of them you could just bring your laptop or whatever, and they had power, and you could just connect to the internet and if you needed to like download or send stuff or whatever.
But a lot less people were on the internet back then.
That's true.
So it was easier just to go into a truck like that. Whereas now every single person at Warped Tour
has
is using
their own
their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's so much has changed even since then. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So.
it's always changing. Social
Yeah.
media, technology, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys just came out with a CD a few months ago.
Yeah.
Black Lines.
Yes. Yeah.
What number CD is this?
That's our 5th full-length album.
How was that CD for you guys?
It was great. It was pretty different for us in a lot of ways. It was that was kind of the goal, I guess, was that we wanted to make an album that felt like it stood out from everything we had done before, and we felt like we had, with our 4th album, Monsters in the Closet, like we were starting to kind of repeat ourselves or starting to kind of just get predictable, and we were like, let's switch it up. And that kind of involved even going with like a new producer and a new place and just switching up the whole vibe,
Did that feel nice to do something? So you're kind of playing it safe for a few albums almost?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like we were, experimenting a lot and learning, but I feel like, it was time to do something different in a lot of ways. And so, we went with Mike Sapone, and he's incredible. And it was it's a much more like raw, like rock, I guess, a little bit darker than anything we've done before, which I think is really cool. And I absolutely love it. There's a few things now, but it's always it's a learning process. I wouldn't like go back and change anything from it. Now, like for the next one, I feel like I would take what we've learned from with the last one and do
improve on it the best you could.
Do things a little bit. I feel like we almost like went too far with the let's keep it like as raw and rough as possible, and like even like to the point of we didn't do any auto-tune on any of the vocals on the record, which I think is really cool and I'm really proud of, but it was almost just like me being stubborn, like just doing
I'm gonna take this as raw as I can.
Yeah, just to like make a point of like I'm gonna have no auto-tune on any, whatever. And now like not that I feel like it sounds bad or anything, but
Do you
I feel
regret that
like
at all, though, looking back
well,
on that?
I don't regret it, but I feel like in the future I would say let's do as little as humanly possible, but like if there's moments where it
can benefit that quick moment of the song.
Yeah,
just toss that on real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Or things like that. Just like where I feel like we tried to almost go too far with the like as stripped down, as rough as possible. So I would come back to somewhere more in the middle for the next one. But I do love the just rock and roll vibe, and I feel like we try to. This is like the pop rock world, and a lot of bands pull more to the pop side of it, and we want to like pull more to the rock side of it, just because I feel like that's what we're all into more. And
I love hearing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's not as many bands or people doing that right now, or it's not that it's not as big. There used to be huge rock bands. There aren't like huge rock bands.
Who do you see some of the last like rock bands were in the scene that are still going around today? I know there's some bands out there like it's like Avenged Sevenfold and stuff.
There's still a lot of rock bands in the scene for sure. It's just that rock bands don't have like mainstream success like they used to. The closest thing to it, I think, now is like Day to Remember, like Pierce the Veil, like bands like that. Blink-182 is probably like one of the last like bands that like made it to that
I think they
next
were
level. My Chemical Romance was up there.
But Blink killed it they caught the radio world when it was at its peak.
Yeah.
Before like the internet took over and everything.
Yeah.
And
well, there's no rock radio anymore. And I mean,
I hate
there's
that.
no like rock hits. There used to be like hits that were songs that were so big that like everybody knew them.
We'd see like Sum 41, Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
Stuff like that was all over the radio.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's all good. It's still alive and well. There's still plenty of bands that are doing it. It's just not really a mainstream thing anymore, or as much. But everything moves in cycles, and I feel like at some point, some band is going to do something,
and they're going to become that next band.
That's gonna, bring it all back. Paris could do it. Paris is close, man. They're so good, and they totally rock. And
I love them.
So I absolutely support them and what they're doing. It's an interesting thing, but we still want to just play rock either way, I guess.
So what's next for you guys?
So we're doing some international stuff in the fall. We're going to Australia and Southeast Asia, and then we're doing a small run in the U.S. It's only like 11 shows. It's the 10-year of our EP, the EP that we were selling in 2006.
The one that got re-released through Fearless.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be touring on that?
We're doing 11 shows of that EP, front to back, and then like another set or whatever, because it's only 6 songs. So another set afterwards, and then that's it for the year. And that tour was just announced a couple days ago.
Are you excited to play those old songs?
Yeah, I am. There's a couple of them we haven't played in a long time. So yeah, it'll
brush up on those.
It'll be really cool. And then we're doing like a Tallahassee show on that. We hardly ever play Tallahassee, so it'll be cool to do like the first EP in Tallahassee and everything,
Mm-hmm.
And so then
that's where it was written, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And then we are done for the year and done with this album cycle, and then we'll start working on album number 6.
That's good. But Warp's been going well for you. What is it, your 5th Warp Tour, 4th?
This is our 6th time playing it. Yeah. And then if you count the time we followed it, it's 7th. And then if you count for the 3 of us, the time that we followed it with Defining Moment, that's 8 times.
Oh yeah.
But one of those times was just the 3.5 weeks of it. In 2007.
Still counts, I think, because that was your first real time touring on it.
Yeah. But it's a lot of summers on the Warped Tour, a lot of birthdays on the Warped Tour. My birthday is.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was the
July
pizza party
11th.
for your
Yeah,
birthday this year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's rad, man.
I'm gonna try and at some point I'm gonna try and top the pizza night. I want to on this. We have like 2 weeks left, right? But I want to have a night where we had 49 pizzas on my birthday,
And they were all gone by the time I got there.
were they all gone?
They were all gone.
Well,
man.
check this out. I want to do 60 pizzas.
Throwing in 11 more.
And I'm gonna do it a night maybe where there's no barbecue, so that everyone can just come eat pizza. And then I want it to be officially set as the record of the biggest pizza party on Warped Tour, and then I want other bands to try and outdo it. And
Why not make it 100? Get in the triple digits right to begin with, man.
I don't want to jump too much too fast, but I'm saying at least 60. Maybe we can do more. We started with 30. We were only going to do 30 for my 30th birthday.
And it ended at 49?
And we ended at 49. So if I start at 60, who knows?
We'll see where it goes.
Maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe some magic happens. Yeah.
Good, man. Well, good. I'm glad that the tour's going well for you guys. You've had one of the best sets all day by far.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love. What's your favorite song that you're playing? I gotta ask.
I don't know. I think maybe Let's Be Honest. It's a new one that's like kind of just a lot of fun, pretty heavy and just fun.
Well, good, man. I'm glad we finally got the chat after first meeting you 2 years ago at the AP photo shoot.
Yeah.
We've never properly sat down and chatted on camera.
Absolutely.
We covered some fun stuff, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for chatting. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good, Nick.
When you see my friends, tell them hi for me, and tell them what you think about the way you handled everything. So neat and clean, well the world is full of such pretty things, so do your best for me.